Hey, I'm Justin Prime, and you're watching Toasted.
Justin, welcome to Amsterdam.
Thank you very much.
I noticed you just played Asia, so you played in was it the Sky Bar in Bali, right?
Sky Garden, yeah. That's one of my favorite clubs in Bali. So
What an amazing venue!
yeah, it's really crazy. It's a few thousand people, and they just actually they just redone the whole venue. So they have amazing visual screens and everything, and all the visuals are synced on the songs. They have a really good VJ. So it's every time I play there, it's like one big crazy happening. It's really cool.
Of course, it's close to the Sari Club. You know, the place that got bombed in the 90s.
Yeah, that's actually across the road. And one of the guys there, he actually took me over there and he said, "Have you ever heard about the bombing?" I said, "Yeah, why?" "Well, this is the club." I said, Here, where the scooters are." I'm like, "Are you kidding me? This is all that's left." He told me. So it was really crazy to see. And across that old club, you have like a big monument with all the names of the people who died there. So it's really impressive, yeah, to see the first time, yeah.
What I like about the club you played is that I'm glad that that people didn't let them scare off, and that there's still music and still people enjoying themselves.
Yeah, yeah. Sky Garden is really a great club, and all the people who didn't got scared off, they all come to there. It's in the middle of the Kuta, the Legion Road, and people just keep on dancing until 5 o'clock in the morning. There's always a great vibe. So yeah, I could agree with that.
Hey, listen, I couldn't help overhear you do the first interview, and this is something. It's a recurring thing. We did a lot of interviews here at the Armada HQ last couple of this year at least, and it struck me that almost all the DJs producers are actually musicians who play the piano, like yourself.
Yeah. I play piano for 25 years now. I am a little bit rusty though when it comes to live performance, and that's my grandfather. He told me always keep on playing the piano every day. And to give a short introduction, my grandfather was a musician too, and he played a lot of instruments, including the piano. And he taught me to play the piano since I was 5 years old. So he told me play every day, don't skip a day, don't skip a single day. And I told him, yeah, sure, Grandpa, I'll do that. And then I come into the studio, and in the studio you play different. You don't play live, you just play chords, and single top layer melodies. And then I got lazy, so I still play piano, but I'm a little bit rusty, but I can pick it up in a few months. It's all cool.
Really cool, and actually could be. I mean, the only connection that I could make, and I don't play piano whatsoever, is that I know that you trigger samples through your keyboard. That's probably the only reason why a lot of DJs have a keyboard, but I was so dead wrong.
Oh, well, you're wrong. It depends on.
Because you make your music, actually, you do compose your music on a piano, right?
Yeah, I compose. Well, not on a real piano, but in the studio I compose it on a MIDI keyboard. But I hate using samples or playing with one finger. I always play everything myself. So I'm a real composer. Yeah. Also, I produce songs for myself. I produce songs for other people. Yeah.
I could really recommend people to go to your social media. The first thing that struck me was a picture of yourself. About 10 years ago, you were at a festival, and you said, well, this is the first festival I ever went to, and it really inspired me because I was looking to the stage and I was like, maybe one day I'll be on that stage myself, and now you are.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was actually 10 years ago. I went to, and I played, I played, back then I still played hardstyle music, and I went to the DEFCON 1 festival, and I was looking at the main stage, and I was looking at the DJ, and I was like, wow, because this guy, I knew him, and he was also producing his own music, and I was like, okay, one day I'm gonna play here, and for all these people. Didn't quite happen as I planned, because I didn't play DEFCON main stage, but I played different kind of main stages. I even played for one time for 40,000 people, and that was crazy. So in a different way, my dreams came true. Yeah.
Hey, what you were saying, which I think is really cool, is what you wrote is looking forward to the next 10 years with new goals and new vision, but the same persistence.
Yeah, yeah. I think persistence is key, because sometimes it doesn't really works out the way you planned. Some artists, they have their breakthrough in 2 years, some in 1 year, some in 5 years. Mine was almost 10 years. So in those 10 years, you could have gave up on your dreams. I mean, I was really poor. Like I had to live with 200 euros a month for years, and I have to just had nothing. I had nothing, and so I think persistence is key. You have to keep on going. And right now, as a DJ, I've pretty much seen everything I wanted to see. I've traveled around the world the last few years, played in really sick clubs, festivals, and my next goal is to be a really big producer. And the reason I'm saying this is because I have been a producer all these years, but it has resulted. My songs have resulted that I became a big DJ. But now my next goal is to be like a sort of Timbaland. And I know it sounds crazy because you shouldn't say that kind of stuff, some people say. But if I'm honest, like that's my next goal, to be a big, successful producer.
I think you should say that, because if you don't say it, nobody else will do it for you.
No, that's true. But, it's better to first, get on that point and then speak
You've
about it.
gone way beyond that point. You had so many successful productions, and you already are a successful producer. So
Oh, thank you very much. But there are still a lot of things I'm aiming for, and as you said, with the same persistence, and I'm just curious what these next 10 years are gonna bring me. I'm just curious if I'm 40 years old, what I'm doing and where I am with this new goal, where I stand as a producer, who I work with, who I work for, and yeah, that's basically what I'm working on.
very, very cool. Hey, like you said, you started off doing hardstyle as a biz and judge. You laugh.
Yeah. No, it's because yeah, we had.
back memories.
Yeah, it brings back a lot of memories. Like right now, in like 10 seconds, I see all kinds of crazy stuff, but it's like I can't even talk about it. But yeah, it brings back a lot of memories.
Hey, of course, the hardstyle scene is a closed scene. A lot of people are really into the scene, and they don't like it when people just get out of it and become commercial, for instance, or if they quote unquote betray the scene. Did you have some negative responses when you left the hardstyle?
No, because at first I had the idea to take my name, Emerson Judge, with me, and just change the music to EDM. But then I had a few talks with people, and they said, "No, man, you shouldn't do that because that's so hard. Like, if you're a really big hardstyle DJ, that might be something you could consider, but." I would start off with a new name. So I started off with a new name, Justin Prime. And so I had nobody, bashing me or something, only messaging me like, please come back to the hardstyle, because, instead of bashing me. So,
Yeah, would you ever consider doing another one? I mean, it would be. I think it would be really cool if you could do another hardstyle thing.
I might do one as Justin Prime again in the future if it's with the right artist. I would really consider to do one, but I'm also really rusty with that. You have to give me like a month or two just to listen to all the new music and explore all the new sounds and just to know what's going on. So, but I think I can still pull it off. Yeah, sure.
I have no doubts. Hey, one of the things you're known for is you work with Bono. I saw this famous picture of you, Chesto, a lot of people in the studio somewhere in Brooklyn working, probably on the Pride in the Name of Love remix. I'm not sure about that. So you really did work with him, right? Because a lot of people say I work with Bono, and then they mowed his lawn or they cleaned the dishes. I don't know. Yeah.
No, it's actually funny. I had this. It's a story. People ask me about all the time, interviewers, and so I've told. I think people already know this story, but it's I've created this song, and together with Chesto, and after we made this song together, Bono really liked the song, and he asked Thijs to get me over to Brooklyn.
Nice.
So at first I was like, okay, this isn't really necessary, right? Because we can just, it was 2012, I think, so we can
The
just.
internet was there.
Yeah, the internet was there, but then I got a call from let's say someone who told me, dude, if he wants you to be there, like what the hell's wrong with you? You just go over there. But yeah, and I was like, yeah, you're right. Like sometimes I can just be, yeah. So I flew over there the next day, and we had a meeting in the studio, and it went really well, and it was actually quite funny because we were recording for a few hours, and I think after 2 hours he told everybody like, stop the music, and I'm like, what's going on? And I was behind the studio mixer, and he said, I can't quite remember that there was a piano part in the original song, was it? And I'm like, oh shit. And he said, who recorded the piano? And I'm like, I did. Why? I said, well, I thought it was a bit boring without the piano. And that was my stupid mouth again, So and everybody was quiet, and I saw Thijs, he was like getting red, like, what the fuck are you saying, And I'm like, shit, I really messed up here, And then the silence broke, and he said, oh, it's pretty cool, keep it in, I like it. I'm like, shoot. So yeah, that was really funny. So
that track actually, was it released? I mean, was it just a jam where you released that stuff?
Oh no, we released. It got released on iTunes America. It was the anthem for. Bono has a foundation, the Red Foundation, and it was the anthem for Stereosonic Australia in 2013, I believe.
Awesome.
2013, yeah. Yeah, so that was pretty cool. And I can't quite remember, but I think it was number 2 or number 1 on iTunes. So that was pretty cool.
Sweet.
I can't remember. I can't say for sure, but
That's a really cool story. Hey, of course, we shouldn't forget talking about your music. 3 releases out in 2017 so far. Tomorrow, Soul. I like Soul. It's a special song. I think it has a Benny Benassi kind of organ in it. Yeah, was it like an inspiration for you?
yeah, actually, if you listen really good, it has a sort of. Do you know the Sun Club? It has a sort of that kind of flow in it. So I thought it was really cool to have that little bit of summer vibe into it, and then just for crossover purposes, and then drop it right back into the EDM vibe. So yeah.